How y'all doing this morning? Oh man, good morning. Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Wake your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Wake your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Wake your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Hey Nicole, wake your black ass up. What's good? Get your black ass up. You better wake your black ass up. How the fuck is y'all doing this morning? Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. You better wake your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Mike, get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Charlene, get your black ass up. Terry, how the fuck is you doing? Get your black ass up. Chief Tomahawk, get your black ass up. Hey Katrina, get your black ass up. Is that my Katrina? Katrina, get your black ass up. Nah, that's a different Katrina. Get your black ass up. Hey Queen, how you doing? What's going on? Get your black ass up. Hey Danny Blanco, how the fuck is you doing? Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Wake your black ass up. Get your black ass up. You better wake your black ass up and Google it, bitch. In the morning time, get your black ass up. Ray James, how the fuck is you doing? Get your black ass up. You got your coffee this morning? Get your black ass up. Hey, Irvin Davis, how the fuck is you doing? Get your black ass up. Everybody, get your black ass up. You better wake your black ass up. You better get your black ass up. Boom. What you doing? Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Hey Tanisha, get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Wake your black ass up. You better get your black ass up. Hey Shanova Perry, how the fuck is you doing? Get your black ass up. Tony Pendergrass, Kaka Gillespie, how the fuck you doing? Get your black ass up. Excuse me. Excuse me. Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Hey Beth, get your black ass up. How the fuck is y'all doing? Get your black ass up. Woo! Good morning. Get your black ass up. Hey Marisa. Hey Alicia. Get your black ass up and Google it, bitch. Get your black ass up. Yeah, thank you. Get your black ass up. I think it's my allergies this morning. Get your black ass up. Jamon, what it do? Get your black ass up. Does everyone have their coffee this morning? Or tea? Or hot beverage? Whatever it is. You know, some people drink matcha and matcha. Some people drink something else. What you got this morning? Y'all good? Get your black ass up. How you doing? Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Well, thank you, Beth. Get your black ass up. What up, Rosalind Bremich? How the fuck is supposed to do? Get your black ass up. Well, thank you, Beth. Yes, I need an allergy regimen. Tina. Oh, Lord. Get your black ass up. Oh, Lord. Get your black ass up. Get your black ass up. Tina. All right, Cheerios and milk. Tina, we got to take care of you. I'm so mad at these orders not getting right. Good morning, everybody. Joe Clair Live. I am up and about it this morning. There's something that's circling in my head, and it has to do with Will and Jada. I can't let it go. I can't let this Will and Jada thing go yet. I haven't been able to process it all the way. But I saw Earthquake's interview on the Breakfast Club, right? And Earthquake made a great assessment, and a lot of people are saying he don't know what he's talking about. Women are like, hell nah. But something came to my mind. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all. Something came to my mind. Something came to my mind when I heard Earthquake talking. And he was saying, you know, how he alluded to the fact that Will is fighting for Jada's love, and she don't love him the way that he would want. And my take on that was, or is, that what everybody don't understand, okay, that's better. That's better. That takes care of that gray hair in my nose, right? All right. I thought that did. Anyway, what everybody doesn't understand is there's something at play that we don't understand. You understand me? And that is, we're going to talk about it. Hold up. Get your ass in here, because we're going to talk about, y'all want to talk about T.I. Tina want to talk about T.I. and the comedian. All right. There was something that Earthquake mentioned that I felt like I needed to address here on the Joe Clair podcast, on the Joe Clair Live, right? And what I needed to address, that's something I have in common with Will Smith, something I have in common with Boris Kojo, something I have in common with Monique's husband. Y'all don't understand Baltimore love. Y'all don't understand Baltimore love. Baltimore love different. You understand me? Baltimore love is different. I did not hear what Corey Holcomb had to say. Baltimore love is different. Let's not forget that Jada is from Baltimore. Boris Kojo's wife is from Baltimore. My wife is from Baltimore. And I'm going to tell you what, that Baltimore love is some other shit. Y'all ever seen Indy Remy on Instagram? You gotta be, Baltimore love is like Leonidas' wife. Y'all know Leonidas in the 300? Remember his wife? I'm trying to tell you something. Do y'all remember that? Huh? Y'all remember how Leonidas' wife was? In the 300. That's what a Baltimore woman is like. Jada is a Baltimore woman. I got a Baltimore woman in my life. And that love is something different. I'm telling you some real shit. Baltimore loves something else. It's rough and hard. It's rough and tender at the same time. For real. It's sweet and bitter. Not bittersweet. It's sweet and bitter. And Baltimore loves something else, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Orleans. How you doing this morning? I'm talking about the Baltimore love and what we haven't examined. That part, everybody's leaving that part out of the conversation when it comes to Will and Jada. But I got a Baltimore wife. And I can safely say some different shit. You hear me? It's some way different shit. I don't know, see, but you have, and it's nuanced. You have to take every person on an individual basis. I don't know about earthquake being right or wrong. What I do know is that Baltimore love hit different. Baltimore loves some other shit. Let me explain Baltimore women as I understand them. You feel what I'm saying? Because I've been married to one for 13 years now. We've been together for 15. And y'all remember when Monique was in Precious? Remember the movie Precious? Monique was in Precious. And they were asking Monique, you know, this role, where did you find the inspiration for this role? Where did you find, how did you get to that understanding? You brought so much to this role. How did you get here? And I can see it on Monique's face the whole time. She want to say, I'm from Baltimore, bitch. You don't understand what's going on. Y'all don't understand that Baltimore love. Will Smith walked up, smacked Chris Rock, came back, sat down, and not once did Jada jump up and was like, no, Will, don't do that. Or what the fuck is wrong with you, Will? Ain't none of that happened. Ain't none of that happened. It's that Baltimore love. You understand what I'm saying? That Baltimore love different. Baltimore love is different. I'm trying to tell you some real shit. That's real. I'm telling you some real shit. Let me explain. Anybody ever date a woman from Baltimore? Any person on here got girlfriends from Baltimore? That kind of thing. Some different shit. Some way it ain't like the regular. It ain't right. It ain't like the regular. It's different. Let me tell y'all a real story, true story. One morning, spending the night at my mother-in-law's house, she asked me if I wanted breakfast. I said, yeah, I love breakfast. So she decided to make me breakfast. And my mother-in-law's breakfast was, all right, Tanisha, listen, Tanisha Abney. Tanisha is a wife from Baltimore. My wife, my mother-in-law made me breakfast one time, and it made me understand. It gave me some, it let me see into the psyche of the Baltimore woman. This is what my mother-in-law made me for breakfast. Cheese, eggs, bacon, and French fries. French fries, shoestring, French fries, orange juice, and an ice cold beer. You heard me right. Cheese, eggs, bacon, French fries, orange juice, and an ice cold beer. This is what my mother-in-law made me for breakfast. That's when I knew I was onto some other shit. You hear me? That's when I knew things was different. I had entered into the Twilight Zone, a parallel universe. Some other shit. Yes, Tanisha, with salt, pepper, ketchup. Are y'all listening to me? I was not hungover. Listen to me, Ursula. I was not hungover. This wasn't because this was a regular ass breakfast. And that's when I understood. That gave me more insight into my wife than a lot of shit. Cheese, eggs, bacon, French fries. Shoestring. Fresh shoestring French fries. And orange juice and a National Bohemian ice cold beer out the Frigidaire. Out the Frigidaire. I'm from D.C. and my mother was a vegetarian. So I hadn't had, my mother wouldn't make us, she might make us egg whites and with smoked turkey and on a whole wheat English muffin, fresh squeezed orange juice, and decaf coffee. Hell no. My mother-in-law made me, yes, a beer for breakfast. You hear me? Salt, pepper, ketchup, and hot salt. That made me understand my wife way more. And I knew that my marriage and my life was going to be an adventure. You hear me? I knew that my life was going to be different. Yeah, that's how my mother is. Ursula, I am from Sea Pleasant, Danny, but just because I'm from Sea Pleasant don't mean that my mother wasn't. My mother we was vegetarians in the hood. We had to shop at the thrift store. We ate whole wheat, everything. My mother used to make granola. My mother went on to become a professor. She moved us out of Sea Pleasant and she went on to become a professor and everything else, but that's how my mother is. My mother spoke very proper. She still does, speaks very proper. We're gonna have egg whites and egg whites with soy sausage and on a whole wheat English muffin, toasted properly. I've got some veggie spread with honey and fresh squeezed orange juice. And how about chamomile tea? And we'll have some chamomile tea with it. What about coffee? Oh, I don't keep coffee in the house. That's my mother. That's my mother. Real shit. Anybody, if you guys, anybody, that's my mother. I'm born and raised in Sea Pleasant. My mother is from Kansas, however. You hear me? My mother is from Kansas City, Kansas. Danny. Yes, that's how my mother speaks. Joey, I heard about your podcast this morning, and someone said that you were doing my voice on tell me how my voice is. Explain my voice to me, Joey. That's how my mother is. And I used to have to go over to my friend's house. I would go over to my friends' houses and I would get like we couldn't have sugar with cereal on we couldn't have cereal with sugar already on it. Look, this real. Rob said he thought my mother was from England when we was kids. I couldn't eat cereal with sugar on it. I couldn't have anything with red dye or yellow dye in it. So red dye number 5 and yellow dye number, I forgot. I couldn't have that. That's real talk. I couldn't. I was always over at Tina and them's house. I was at Rob's house, who's right here, and Tina's house. Tina was next door, and her younger brother's my best friend. And my mother would. We couldn't have. First of all, we had whole wheat everything. Like I'm talking about the late 70s, early 80s. We was whole wheat everything. We ate vegetarian most nights. We would have fish. She said Tamara. Now listen to Tamara. Tamara, we weren't bougie. My mother was just all the stuff that everybody do now. My mother did then. That's all. All the shit that we couldn't eat. Like we got ass whoopings and we cussed and we was in Seat Pleasant, but we couldn't be bougie. How am I gonna be bougie in thrift store clothes? You can't be bougie in thrift store clothes. You know what I mean? I ate black eyed peas, I ate collards, but our black eyed peas had no meat in it. We had brown rice with it. But then my mother would also, I ate tons of oodles and noodles. I ate plenty of like that peanut butter that you got to get from the health food store. Our honey came from the health food store. On Christmas, we did, those was the things that how we grew up, and my mother was, before her time. Because when I seen soy milk come to the grocery store, I ran home. I called my mother, I said, Ma, they got soy milk in the grocery store like regular. Because I remember soy milk when it was underground. Like I had to drink soy milk from like the Glut. Anybody who knows the Glut, there was soy milk that they made in the store. And that they made in the back of the store. So when soy milk was on the grocery store shelf, my mind was blown. When I seen every Jimmy Dean and them start going to soy sausage, I was like, what the fuck? These was the things that people used to joan us out about. Spinach lasagna. You know how people make veggie lasagna now? My mother was making that when we was kids. I couldn't eat. Like I had to sneak and eat now laters and candy and stuff like that. I had to sneak. My mother wouldn't let you bring it in the house. Or if you had it, she would frown. Joey, are you having a soda and candy in one day? Oh, Joey, your teeth are gonna rot out of your head. That's y'all gotta understand. My mother's an English professor. Here's her book sitting right here. This is my mother's book. She became an author and everything else. Some other shit. It was just, I grew up veggie chili. We ate veggie chili. I ate whole wheat everything. Whole wheat. My aunt baked whole wheat everything. Whole wheat cookies. My pie crust was whole wheat. We was eating whole wheat pasta. I had to sneak some Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid? Shit, we ain't had no Kool-Aid. Wasn't no Kool-Aid. I remember she would get us natural soda from the health food store. I'd be sized. Oh, y'all should have seen me on Friday nights. On Friday nights when she had to go to work. My mother worked at the hospital when we were kids. She worked in the blood lab. She was a hematologist. So my mother taught me how to count blood platelets when I was a kid. I grew up at Children's Hospital. When we didn't have a babysitter, I spent the night at Children's Hospital because my mother would work the night shift. So I knew what hemoglobin was. I knew what, I knew what plasma was. Natural soda was good, Tony Slap, because it wasn't made with high fructose and it didn't have any dye in it. So it tasted delicious. It just didn't look like regular soda. And now you can get that soda at Whole Foods like it ain't nothing. Ginger beer and shit like that. That's how I grew up, in the middle of Seat Pleasant. You can ask my friends. It was just some different shit. And that's how my mother speak. If you ever talk to my mother, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that was my mother. The way that my mother speaks is completely and utterly like this. I've never heard my mother curse. Alright? I've heard my mother curse one time in my whole life. I heard her say bullshit one time in my whole life. What up, Janine? Janine, I'm on here telling them about how I grew up and people don't believe me. They don't understand we was vegetarians and what my mother was on. Now this is my cousin, my mother's brother's child. And Janine, I'm explaining that, that my mother was she talks like this, and she is proper and smart, and she has a ton of class. She has a ton of class. I learned class from my mother, and I learned how to judge people by how she treated others and how you let people treat you. My mother would not, even though she has a ton of class, she would not allow you to disrespect her. And if you did, she didn't entertain that energy. She would put you over here, and that's where you would be. She didn't entertain bad energy. That's where I get all this namaste and all that other shit. I get it straight from her. Like, on some no bullshit. Here she is. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all Maxine. There's Maxine. There she goes. That's my baby. That's when she got a little older. Let me find a better picture. But yeah, that's my baby. So it was some whole other shit. It was, oh yes, my mother taught me how to meditate. I have a horrible temper. I got my father's temper. And my mother, when I was in the 8th grade. When I was in the 8th grade, my mother taught me how to control my temper for my highest good. Those are the words that she said to me when I was in the 8th grade. Joey, you're going to have to learn how to control your temper for your highest self and for your highest good. So you can imagine when you in the 8th grade, you hearing this kind of shit, it's just like different. But it's your mother, so you accept it. You know what I'm saying? You accept it because anything your mother say must be the truth, right? And that's why if it wasn't for her, I'd have killed somebody a long time ago. I would have been a casualty of the hood a long, 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 long time ago. Because I got more temper than I have fight. So at some point, I would have had to pick up a gun. Because I got more anger and more temper than I have fight. So at some point, I would have had to pick up a weapon, and I would have hurt someone, and I would have fucked my future up. And so she taught me to learn how to manage that temper part so that I could get ahead in life. Yeah, my mother's on some no bullshit. Some no bullshit. Which takes me back to my original conversation. So when I met my mother-in-law, and she made me cheese, eggs, bacon, French fries, orange juice, and an ice cold beer, I was like, you know what? Opposites attract. I'm on some, you know what? We about to go like this in life. Life ain't gonna go like this. Life about to go like this for me. And it has been like that. It's been like that. It's been like that for my whole time. Real shit. Real shit. Real shit. You know, my brother, my oldest brother that my good friend Tina is talking about right here that you see up on the screen. My oldest brother came out of the closet when I was 11. The hood knew when I was 6, but I ain't know till I was 11. And because of who my mother was, my brother, who's been HIV positive since 1988 and has been addicted to very, very hard drugs, right now is the epitome of health, wealth, balance, and manifestation. It's because of my mother. Right now, my brother, who's about to turn 60, is the epitome of health. He is, he has a testimony that sounds like, you know, something off of a Alice Walker movie. And now I know for a fact the one reason that he's still walking around with us today is because of the person that my mother was and how she supported him and kept his life on track. You understand what I mean? This some real shit. I'm telling you some real shit. People thought when I did that gay brother joke on Def Comedy Jam that I was making it up. No, sirree. No. This shit is real. Shit is real. So I'm saying all that to say this morning, I started that whole conversation about Will and Jada because Jada got that Baltimore love. And my wife got that Baltimore love. And that Baltimore love hit different. Tina said she had a crush on Steve. Then he broke her out. He said he looked at her as baby sister. Yes, he did. He sure did, honey. Girl, he sure did. You know what I mean? Because of my mother, my biggest hero in the world, one of my biggest heroes in the world is a gay man. You understand what I mean? Because of what my mother taught me, I see my brother as a hero, as one of my biggest heroes, like my inspiration. I'm telling you some real shit. I'm not making none of this shit up. And the only reason I'm here with y'all this morning is because of what this woman made me, who she made me. My dad, right before he passed away, my dad was sitting at my mother's Thanksgiving table. And my dad had to thank my mother for raising all of us. Now, my mother and my father had been split since I was like 4. And my mother and father split since I was like 4. And my father was still in love with my mother when he passed away at 80 years old. I was 50. So for 46, they've been broke up for 46 years. I asked my father, I said, Dad, why didn't you never get married again? He said, because I already got a wife. She just don't know she's still my wife. You hear me? That's who my mother was. That lady's something else. And so she made me understand and meet people at their level, meet them where they are. That's why I love the lady that's upstairs. I try my best to not put expectations on her that I shouldn't because of what I was taught, how I understand the world. Y'all see this meditation deck? This deck of meditations comes directly. You can't see it. There we go. Let me see. There we go. That deck comes directly from that lady. You understand what I'm saying to y'all? Some other shit going on. Anyway, it's what's today? Today is Real Estate Wednesday, ain't it? Speaking of my mother, I'm sorry. I gotta go see her after this today. Anyway. Now that's some real shit. This is how I was raised. This is how I understand the world. This is because of what Maxine Clair, this lady right here, see that right there? Because of what that lady was able to teach me, I'm able to maneuver through the world in a whole nother way. Think about it. I've been able to be a stand-up comedian. I got to interview Veggie. I make beats for a living. I got a coffee brand. I'm in a 13-year marriage. I got 2 beautiful children. My baby sister is like one of the most incredible lawyers on the planet. Both of my older brothers are exemplary men. It's all because of my mama. I'm telling y'all some real shit. Tina, I would definitely tell her you said what's up this morning. I'm going to see her right after this. I gotta go see her. She's been battling multiple myeloma for the last 2 years. And so I gotta go get her groceries for her and take care of some stuff around her house today. And even with that, she's been fighting cancer, but she won't say I'm fighting cancer. She says I'm living with the disease, and I've learned how to live with it. And at some point, maybe the disease will not be here. We don't know. I'm just day to day, and that's what it's going to be. And that's what it's going to be. Like on some no bullshit. I'd be like, Ma, do you we say in prayer. She's like, you can pray for me if you like, but this is how she said, you can pray for me if you like. I really do appreciate that. But know that I am centered in love and light always. So your prayers, while I appreciate them and I love them, are manifested through the love and the light that I keep for myself. That's how my mother, no bullshit. That's exactly how she do it. That's exactly how she does it. Real shit. When I talk to my mother and I'm having a problem, like when I was a kid and I would talk to my mother about, oh, Ma, I got girl problems. She was like, well, I don't think you have girl problems. What you have is something going on within you that you have to figure out. Because the girl that you're having problems with is going to be herself. She came to you as herself already. What you're dealing with is her reflection on you and what you feel. Her light is shining. You have to decide whether it's shining on you in a good way or not. Something that is beneficial or no. That's my mother on some no bullshit. I never forget this girl I was dating called my mother one day. Some real shit. This girl I was dating called my mother one day to tell her about our relationship. And when she got off the phone, by the time the girl got off the phone with my mother, she said, you know, I owe you an apology for accepting something from you that you're not capable of. And I think that we need to rearrange our relationship. And I think I'm going to go to school. I'm going to college. I'm going back to college. This was after one conversation with my mother on some no bullshit. I'm telling y'all some real shit, Tony Slack. Tony Slack, I'm telling you some real shit. You hear me? My mother wouldn't allow me. I remember I got caught selling drugs. I got caught selling drugs, and my mother told me, you're in trouble, but not like in trouble with the police or in trouble with, you're not in trouble with the police or your school or anything like that. You're in trouble with yourself. You're troubled, as in a troubled person. You're troubled, and me and your father cannot figure out your trouble for you. This is your trouble that you're going to have to get yourself out of if you want your good life. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to beat you. There will be no fighting because I'm not the one who's troubled. And your father isn't the one who's troubled. You are. So we're not going to kick and scream and do all of those things. I've got things to do for my life, and everyone else in this family has things to do for their lives. You have decisions to make for your life. In that tone, that's the exact tone my mother had for me when I got caught selling drugs. No yelling, no screaming. She didn't, no, I'm kicking you out the house. No, you trifling motherfucker. No, none of that shit. She ain't do none of that shit. She calmed me down. She calmed me down. First she calmed herself down because I was scared as shit. I got caught selling drugs, and my mother and my father both were gonna be at home that day. Now they had been split for forever. So this was the first time. I was in 11th grade. This was the first time I was coming home from school and my father was gonna be there. You understand? All throughout my life, I never came home from school and my father was there. I just saw him on the weekends, and I got disciplined on the weekends if something went wrong that week. Well, this was like a Tuesday. This was Monday, matter of fact. It was Monday when I got caught, Tuesday. And he came in there, and my mother came. And so I'm home waiting for the ass whipping to kick off. And my father was ready to start. So they sat me down. This real shit, y'all. Listen. My parents sat me down. And my father was ready to start. You trifling motherfucker, what the fuck? My father took his breath, and my mother put her hand on his hand, and calmed him down. She gave him a look, and she looked at me, and she said, okay, Joey, I need you to understand that you are in trouble. And you're not in trouble with like the police or with your teachers or the principal or the school system. You are in trouble within yourself, like a troubled person. Right now, you are troubled. And this is your trouble. It's not me and your father's. And she went on that whole thing. You got all this other stuff you got to do. Boom, 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 boom. And there was no yelling, no cussing out, no pointing the finger, no blaming, no shaming, no any of that shit. None of it. She didn't do any of those things that we would think to normally do. She sat me down and told me what the fuck gave me something real. A real ass nugget. Look, Eddie Kane said, do the look again. You're troubled. And this is your trouble. It is not ours. So she placed everything in my lap. All of this is yours. All of it. She placed all of it back in my lap. I had to be a man right then and there, but not a man in the sense of I'm a provider and a protector. I had to be a man to take care of myself. If I was going to have a life, I was going to have to do it. Because this is the last thing she said. The last thing she said, and I need to let you know that um, me and your father and no one in this family, we don't come pick up people from jail. If you've done something to get yourself in jail, you're probably going to have to stay there. I was like, what? What? I'm troubled and you ain't going. So at that point, I was the person accountable for all of my actions. My father, from the time I was 2, had been saying to us, all acts have consequences and we are responsible for the consequences of our actions. I've been hearing that since I was 2, right? So them two together made me me. You hear me? Made me me. My mother stopped ass whippings when I was like in the 5th grade. Look at Danny Blanco. What you get caught with? Some boat? I got caught with some boat, Danny. So I knew we were supposed to do Real Estate Wednesday today, but for all of the parents out there, I hope I've given you something of value. All of these things work in a very real way. From a kid who could have risked it all, I turned into a kid who risked it all and got everything I've ever wanted. Real shit. Nah, Tina, I wasn't with Tater, but I was going to be. B, what's good with you, B? Good morning. Somebody asked if this was in my mom's books. Nah, but you can go pick it up on Amazon. Her books are like novels. Yeah, Tammy, I'll be off topic. My bad, Tammy. The name of my mother's book is October Sweet. It's the October Sweet. She also wrote a book called Rattlebone. Rattlebone is another one of her books. Yeah, that's my mother. Yeah, it was like, yeah. It was Eddie Kane, it was a mental ass whipping. And after that, she never had, my mother and I have not had a disagreement since I was in the 11th grade. That's the last time my mother and I did not see eye to eye. It was when I was in the 11th grade. We've never had a crossword. We've never had a misunderstanding or any bad energy. None of that shit. Ever since I was in the 11th grade. It's real talk. And it's given me an outlook on the world. Somebody, Jamon Ross asked my grandparents were this conscious. No, not at all. Not at all. Nah. Her name is Maxine Clair. Yeah, thank you, Tina. My grandparents weren't like this at all. Her siblings, some of them are a bit like this. But nah, my mother's just this other kind of person. Just this other kind of, I can't even describe it because, and I guess I take it for granted. You know, I don't see many examples of people like her. Her humility is above everything. She puts her humility above everything. Her humility comes before money, comes before vanity, comes before judgment, comes before all of that. And, you know, we say it's conscious. She says she's aware. She's just aware. She's aware. Eddie Kane says, is she a Libra? Nope, she's an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. Yep, and my mother was, she says to me, you know, things like, When I talk to my mother on the phone, like, when I talk to my mother on the phone, she says things like, thank you for being my son. Thank you for being my son and coming to the earth through me. Thank you for choosing me to come to the earth through, Joey. I love how you manifest your life. That's why I act like I do, man. Because my mother's sitting over there telling me, I love how you manifest your life. Joey, it's just the greatest. It's so cool how you manifest your life, Joey. Back when you were on MTV, I was like, it's BET, Mom. I'm sorry, but I don't watch the shows. But it's just so great how you manifest your life. And I watch you with your wife and your children. It's just so great. That's why I act like I do. That's her. Now, all the cussing and acting wild, I'll tell y'all about my father another day. And then I'll tell y'all about my older brother and the hood. Those are conversations for another time. Real shit. That's how my mother talked to me. Joey, I just love how you manifest your life. You have a coffee company and you bake cakes and you're not afraid to manifest love and be vulnerable. And I just love it, Joey. And Joey, I just love it. She doesn't say and, she says and she almost speaks like a poet the whole time. The way that you love your children is, I couldn't be happier, Joey. Yeah, that's my mother. That's Maxine. I gotta go get my teeth white. They horrible. Anyway, I'm on this damn coffee. So that's my mother. We were supposed to talk about some other shit today, but I hope y'all got something of value out of this one right here. Stop it, Tammy. Cake's coming. Everybody like, where the cake at, nigga? Cake's coming. I hope you got something of value out of that. Because of who she is. I manifest my life the way that I do. And because of who she is, that's why I spit the namaste. And I try to make people laugh. And I try to I wish the best for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, even when I'm in joke mode, I try to do the jokes in a way that are funny without having to hurt nobody. Somebody might get hurt, but I try my best not to. I know how to zone a motherfucker out. That come from the hood. But I know deep down inside, I would much rather uplift you. I would much rather push you up instead of beat you down. I would much rather, or it's not much, it serves us much more, it serves us better if I try to uplift, if I try to add value. What picture? Oh, Tina, you talking about this picture? Let me see. Tina, this the picture you talking about? Let me see. That's my mother right there. It's me and my wife, my sister, my oldest brother. This my pop. Now, when I tell y'all about my pop, y'all ain't gonna understand it. And then that's my nephews. That's my nephew, and this is my nephew. And then here go my two right here. And that's us. That's our family. That the picture you was talking about, Tina? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sitting here having a family reunion. Y'all see Tina asked for it. I'm sitting here having a family reunion on this jump. So anyway, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. It's 9:55 in the morning time. Go have a great day. Go have a great day. Namaste to all of y'all. And like I said, man, if nothing else, man, just know that when I say I wish peace and love and happiness for y'all, I really fucking mean it. Like, I've been able to have this incredible time here on the planet. My time here on planet Earth has been incredible. Even when it was thrift store closed and the house was falling apart a little bit around us, and we had a beat up car sitting in the driveway that didn't work. We had a Mercedes Benz that sat in our driveway for 9 years, everybody. I grew up with a Mercedes Benz sitting in front of my house that we could not drive because the motherfucker was broke down. That's a whole nother story. But during that time, you know, my mother showed me, those was the best times. I swear those was the best times when I was eating, you know, peanut butter and honey sandwiches on whole wheat. I would eat that peanut butter from the health food store, that thick ass peanut butter with the oil on the top, honey on whole wheat bread. And I don't mean that Roman meal. I'm talking about the whole wheat bread you had to get from the health food store. Roman meal for us, and that butter, that split top butter top wheat, that was like white bread for me. Real shit. I was in thrift store clothes. My mother did not eat. She would not allow us to have government cheese because it had to die in. She worked at the hospital, so she knew that cheese wasn't any good for you, so she wouldn't allow us to eat it. She wouldn't allow us to have meat in a can, none of that shit. We didn't have pork, we didn't have beef. We didn't have sugar. There was no white flour in my house. There was no white sugar in my house growing up. I had honey, I had molasses. I used to make a bowl of Raisin Bran. I had Raisin Bran, and she would buy skim milk. I would have Raisin Bran with skim milk, and I would take some carnation milk and put it in the skim milk and make it taste much better. So I'd have Raisin Bran with mostly skim milk, a dash of carnation milk, and maple syrup on that junk. And I used to fuck 3-4 bowls of that up. I'd tear that shit. It was so delicious. So delicious. Sometimes she'll buy King syrup, but we had that runny ass syrup. We didn't have Mrs. Butter. She wouldn't buy Mrs. Butterworth's. She wouldn't buy that stuff. She didn't buy processed food. I just grew up a different way, man. We'll talk about it more, man. We'll talk about it more. The milk in a can. I have on it. Yeah, PJ White. Yes, indeed. I got a permanent invisible kufi on. And the last question I'm going to answer. What does she think about your potty mouth? My mother knows. She doesn't care about how the fuck I talk. She knows that. She knows what my heart is. So, somebody said, damn, Joe, you kind of a hippie. I'm all hippie. I'm a goofball. I'm a weirdo. I just manifested in the coolest, most handsome way you ever seen. But yeah, I'm a hippie. I'm a weirdo. I'm a goofball. I'm all of that shit, but I also see the strength in all of those things. And so, Deborah, you know, what does she think about my potty mouth? She don't give a fuck what I say. She knows my actions speak way louder than everything else. You know what I'm saying? My actions speak way louder than all the cuss words. She's the first person I go tell my rhymes to when I'm spitting a rhyme. I go tell her because she's a writer and she gets it. So regardless of what's in the rhyme, she can tell you if it has value or not. She doesn't necessarily say, oh, this is the best rap I ever heard. She just says, oh, that has such great value. That has such depth in there. And I'll be like, you don't care about the cuss words? Nah, that's nothing. You feel what I mean? All right, y'all. It's time to go. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Y'all gonna have a great day. To all the ladies, big up to all my brothers. Go meditate and have a good one. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll be back. All right. Sharezo Comedy. I can't forget Sharezo Comedy.